Okay, so is there anything you want to clear before we start? I have no idea where we're going today, but is there anything you want to clear?
No, I'm good.
Awesome. Well, we haven't done this in a long time. So welcome to
Yeah.
a coaching session here. Let's take a nice deep breath and come into our space. And I'm going to just remind you that this is a space where I have my Patty Jackson coaching hat on. And it's a space where we're going to just adopt a sense of wonder, where my personality is checked at the door and I'm here with ears on my heart, ready to hear whatever it is that you might share that would be helpful for me to reflect back for you. During this time, it's time to adopt a sense of wonder, to practice self-care, focus on the positive, and know that we will remain confidential except for not in this clause because we're doing this as a recording on purpose together.
Yes.
So that one we will not do. So instead of confidential, what's your intention?
My intention is to look at something and receive coaching on an area of my business that, like, as I was thinking about what I wanted coaching on, there's a lot of things that are going right. And I feel like this is something that I definitely would describe myself as having my head buried in the sand and not wanting to look at. So that's my and what it is, the what of it is making enhancements, getting clear on what I need to do for my website. So making enhancements, and wonder is definitely the key that popped out because it's an area that I flip into worry and I don't know, and all of those, I don't know how, and so
Okay.
that's my intention.
Awesome. So I love that you're doing that and you're aware of, I don't know how, and as a coach, we know that how is the last step in everything. So we will explore what website is and how you're going to move something forward by getting clear on what the solution is you want first, if that sounds like a good idea.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I heard you also say that your intention is to have your website look different, to feel like it's been enhanced in some way. And we're going to look at what that might be and the pathway to it.
Mm-hmm.
That Am we getting that right so far?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of the big struggle, but I think I know the answer on this one is, like, do I trash my website and start all over and make it have more of a coaching presence, which I don't think I need to do. I think it's finessing what I have, and um there are, it is my primary marketing avenue, and I think that there definitely are things like that I think about, like SEO optimization and things that are not on there that I want to get on there, and I don't know. It's it always goes back to I don't know how. Testimonials. So it's a combination of hiring, like I would like to hire somebody, but I also like the ability to go in and change dates of, when I'm doing a Reiki or when I'm doing a life coach certification. I like the ability to get into the back end. I feel like I've been learning, but it creates like a big fear bubble for me. Like the more I do it, the more confident I get, but there's like this big, what if I do it wrong? What if I completely mess something up? So I'm like, I take little tiny baby steps, and I feel like I'm at a point where I really need to hire someone to just clean up some things. But then I get stuck with, who do I hire?
Okay. So I heard you say that you're noticing the struggle, and then you're noticing the what should I do? And the struggle and the what should I do? And the struggle goes between, do I need to redo it completely, or do I just need to enhance? Do I hire someone to do it? Can I do it? So all these thoughts are running around from what I can hear.
Mm-hmm.
Heard in there also is, it is my primary marketing avenue. And then there's SEO and all these. Here's what's bouncing around. And then how do I move this forward is really at the front of today's session. And it's the perfect example of how to use a clear and focus tool.
Mm-hmm.
Because with all these I don't knows and whatever, then it's the what should I do? And I would like to see if it feels right that today we drop into the looking at the struggles and really getting into a clear and focus through the table, and then letting that clarity open the pathway to next steps. Because my guess is there's some other concerns running around in there as we look at some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be? Okay.
Yeah,
so
that sounds great.
breathe and bring a little more awareness with acceptance and love. Oh, I'm so excited. And it just must be time. And so when you think about website, what's some of the first feelings that come to your awareness? I heard worry, and I heard a feeling of indecisiveness. Is there more? When you think about your website, what are you thinking that you don't want to be thinking? What is it that you're feeling that you don't want to be feeling? What are you experiencing that you do not want to be experiencing?
So like fear of messing it up, technology, there's so much that continues to improve and change, and it's not something that I focus on or am educated on. And so who is the right person? How I'm inundated with emails of people that could do it. How do I that's a fear of, who do I choose? Because I would like a relationship. I think like I would like to have kind of just a little safety net, like in addition to getting work done. Oh, I want to do this. How do I do it? So that's where the relationship comes, but I don't feel like I need someone that I'm paying every single month. So, whatever you said right in the beginning around it, like just, bringing in awareness and acceptance was what you said. It like that was brought in a really calming thought. And I thought, I have learned a lot. I do know how to do things now on the back end. I do get stuck and Google and find solutions. So, but it is, I get frustrated because I don't know. And so, it can be very time consuming. And then even when I do something, there's that, oh my gosh, did I do it right? Am I messing something else up? So
Good. I hear very clearly. What you don't want is to be worried about your website at all. What you don't want to be thinking is, I don't know. What What you don't want to be feeling is fear. What you don't want to be thinking when you think of website is, what if I mess it up? But you are, and it's okay. So if you would just breathe and notice, this is part of what's running around here in your current mindset, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I do want to be feeling and thinking these things, but I'd like to get focused on something else, right?
Mm.
So you don't want to be experiencing and thinking and feeling technology is improving and changing and I'm not educated on it. You don't want to be thinking, who is the right person? I'm inundated with all these things and I don't know who is the right person. I don't want to be consuming time in all of this.
Right.
You don't want to be thinking, who do I choose? You don't want to be thinking, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with what I don't know. And you don't want to be feeling uncertainty when you think about your website.
Mm-hmm.
But if you will just breathe right now, and you are, and you're still okay, and you haven't taken a bunch of running around actions right now, what you're doing is first getting clear on the solution you want.
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel true?
Yeah. And it feels really good for me to even bring this up in a coaching session. Like it feels good to just pull my head out of the sand and look at it.
I can pull my head out of the sand. What kind of good does it feel?
I just know it'll lead to next steps and solutions, and it just feels lighter. It's a lighter, just talking about it feels lighter than carrying the thoughts and the fear and all that around.
I'm hearing it's bringing in sort of a feeling of hope too.
Yeah.
Does it feel like hope or does it feel like something else? What does that lightness feel like?
It feels like hope. It's an area that I question myself. I think I have a high level of trust in many different areas, but not. So that's been an awareness. Like, why am I not trusting myself in this area? It's just like this big ball of, um,
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah. So that's really cool. Another thought that's running around is, why am I not trusting myself in this area? And let's just look at, that's just a thought. In a magical world, instead of that thought, when there's the solution, what would you be thinking instead of, why am I not trusting myself in this area?
I'd rather be thinking I found a great partner, web support person, or a resource that I can like confidently ask for what I need and either have it be done for me um and not have it be a whole lot of money.
Instead of a whole lot of money, what would it be?
Just manageable. Like this is another business expense, and I would love to, like, in the same way that I love paying Mackenzie to do my social media marketing, like I want to love to pay whoever I find to take this burden from me.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is you don't want to have a monthly expense where you have to pay it all the time, whether you use it or not. I'm hearing
Right.
you want it as a as needed basis, and it feels like it's a manageable expense.
Mm-hmm. And I'm okay to invest something to kind of get things where they need to be.
Mhm.
I just, sometimes I go down this path and have conversations with different, companies, and it, I never have the confidence to pull the trigger and say yes. Like sometimes it just feels like a little swarmy to me. And, like what are they really going to do this? Is it really going to make a difference? How would I rather spend that money? So I think getting clear on just really what do I want, which we are doing. And then it would feel good to have just a relationship with somebody that I could say, hey, I just came up with this. How do I do this? Or,
Awesome. So I heard you say you don't want to talk to people. And when you talk to them, it starts to feel swarmy. And it doesn't feel confident. It isn't clear that, wow, they really can do it. And you don't want to be calling people and having that happen again and again.
right.
When you call someone or when you talk to someone about your website, you don't want it to feel swarmy. You don't want to be thinking, oh no, what if they can't do it? Instead, you want to call somebody. And when you do this next time, or in the short distance, in the short future, you want to call someone and be on that phone and feel confident.
Mm-hmm.
And to be going, wow, they really can do it. Wow, this really does make a difference. And that's what you want.
Yes.
And you haven't had it yet, but that's what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where you're there and you're like, wow, I can have an ongoing relationship with this web developer, not only as a developer who gets it up to speed, but who also is there as a consultant for the little things here and there along the way. I mean, you want to be thinking, feeling, and experiencing, I know how to do a lot of this stuff, and I can find the answers to the solutions. And I don't want to be thinking that this is consuming my time. Instead, I want to know there's a consultant I can call that I'm happy to pay to get things done when it's over my head. And I get right back onto, I know how to do the rest of the things with my website.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's more in the picture. You want to keep me going there, or is there more that we need
There's
to?
the only more that came up as I was listening was that individual who kind of has, a pulse on what is new, so that I don't have to bring everything to them, that they're like, boy, it would, it would really be dynamic if you did XYZ, or this is how people are finding people, that they bring their knowledge and expertise with recommendations as well. So that's the other piece. And then, yeah, that would feel really, really good.
Nice deep breath, if you will. So I'm going to read it back, what you're asking for. And then what I'd like to do is talk about a few more of these things on the left side of the clear and focus table that might need a little bit more clarity on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's there and it's anchored in, but let's make sure that we cleaned up and created solutions to each little problem on the left side.
Sounds good.
Okay. So what I heard you say is what you want to be thinking, feeling, and experiencing when you think my website is I have a relationship with a web designer consultant. And this person stays current. They bring knowledge, expertise, and recommendations to me and what I need to do to stay current in my website. But other than that, I know how to do things and find little solutions along the way. I want to be thinking, feeling, and experiencing when I have things that I don't want to feel. I actually know how to pull my head out of the sand and look at things and feel lighter and feel hope. And I did that with my website. I got clarity. And now I really feel the confidence that, wow, my web designer, my web consultant / designer really can and is doing what I needed to make a difference. My web person, again, stays current and brings knowledge, expertise, and recommendations. And you want to be thinking website and say, oh, I am so grateful that I found a great partner, a great web person. And I can confidently ask for help from this person and they do it. It's a totally manageable business expense. And I love paying the person. Instead of thinking, why am I not trusting myself in this area? You would be thinking, as you look at this new situation,
like I got this, and that my website represents me and what I have to offer.
mm-hmm. And what I'm hearing, Susie, is the reason why you haven't trusted yourself in this area is because the thing that you really want hasn't been incredibly clear before moving forward. And so what shows up isn't a clear solution.
Right. It's like I muddle my way through to fix whatever is just bubbling up.
Right. And so in that, I'm hearing that you have trusted yourself in not hiring someone until you were making sure that it was going to be the real solution.
Right.
And I want to acknowledge you for not hiring someone and spending all that money on something that wasn't what you really wanted.
Thank you. That feels good.
Let's see if there's anything else on this other side. Instead of consuming time, what would you like to be thinking, feeling, and experiencing when you think of your website?
Like thoughts of I do know how, and if I don't, I have a person. And I'd like to be thinking it's not that hard.
It's not that hard. And it doesn't have to take so long.
Right. Like I had a little.
I said it doesn't have to take so long. Check in with yourself. Is it just simply, it's not that hard?
I love that thought, that it doesn't have to take so long. And I'm just thinking of an example where I had 2 upcoming Reiki classes, but I had the date right, but the Saturday or Sunday was incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
And it was caught, and I was like, oh, like that was I was like, oh, I know how to do that. Like that's the feeling. I just went in and just like boom, fixed it. And there is a big sense of accomplishment, like when I learn how to do something myself.
Yeah, and I heard you say, if we're going to turn this into a complete affirmative, it's not that hard. I heard you say, it's easy. Almost said it. But the affirmative, it's not that hard, but then it is what?
It can be easy, or it's I know how. I know how, or I know who to call.
Awesome. And instead of, if we're going to put it into affirmative, it doesn't have to take so long. How can we put that in an affirmative instead of it doesn't have to? it can be, or
It can be, it can be quick. And honestly, I don't even mind putting time into it if I know what I'm doing is right. That's where I get really frustrated.
I put time into things that I know are right.
Yeah. And I'm going to end having a positive impact on my business.
So that's a definition of right. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I put time into things that I know are having a positive impact on my business.
Yes.
Or I hire someone
Right.
and I trust who I hire.
Yes.
I know how, or I know who.
Yep.
And that gives you a real sense of accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got that left side taken care of. Oh, and when you talk to someone, it's not going to feel swarmy. It's going to feel.
It's going to feel like a natural connection. I'm going to have it's going to be easy to communicate. And I'm going to have a level of trust in that person's ability.
Good. So I'm hearing you say you're going to trust in your ability to be able to feel out whether this person is right and is going to make a positive impact on your business by feeling, does this feel like a natural connection? Does this feel easy to communicate? Does this feel like I can trust this direction? And I can trust their ability? This is what you're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to read the whole top to bottom, and then we'll figure out one step you can take. Okay. But this is a clear inner focus. And I'm going to encourage you as I read it back to then you've taken care of your response to yourself. You looked at the things that you didn't like, and you responded with love and acceptance. We looked at the left side. We started to steer your focus from what you don't want to what you do want. And now I'm going to read it back. I'm going to ask you to activate your imagination and really get this clear inner focus inside. So you imagine yourself standing in it. And what would that feel like? And what would you see happening? And what would you be saying? And what would people be saying? And as I read back. And then finally, we'll control that last thing you can control. And that's the response. Like, okay, if this is really what I want, and I'm really clear, and I got this really good, clear inner focus, what's one thing I can do to help move it forward? Ready? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So what I heard you say is what you're creating is your website to be something where you can look at it and go, wow, I really feel like I have a sense of accomplishment here. I knew how to do this, and I knew who to call, and I know how to do it. And when I don't know how to do something with this, I know who to call with my website. I have a relationship with a web designer who's also a consultant. I can do this, and I know what to do. And if not, I have a person I can call who will help me. I am actually someone who absolutely knows how to do things and find solutions. And even on this web thing, I was kind of stuck and running around, and I got a coaching session in order to get the solution clearer. I know who to call, and I know what to do if I don't know what to do. I put time into things that I know are having a positive impact on my business. The website, into scheduling this coaching session, into creating a video for other people to see a coaching session. I put time into things I know that are having a positive impact on my business. I know myself as someone who can pull my head out of the sand and look at things and feel lighter and feel greater hope And remember, it's not that hard. And remember, it doesn't have to take so long. And find that confidence again. To think about my website and know that it was like, wow, so many things that came from it. I have confidence in the people that I turn to for support. And when I turn to them, I have confidence that they really can support me. And their support really does make a difference. My decisions to support myself really make a difference. The people that I work with, I feel a natural connection to, and it's easy to communicate with them and trust them and their ability. Because I have a natural connection to myself and my desires and my muse, and it's easy to communicate within. It's easy to get clear and listen to myself and my heart and my spirit. And remember, I have an ability to. So when I think website, I want to be also thinking the web person that I have stays current. And they'll bring knowledge and expertise and recommendations to me. Sometimes when I ask, and sometimes they might just share it. And I'll again go in and trust myself on how I'm going to respond. My website represents me and what I have to offer. And my consultant helped me have the clarity I need to be current, to make recommendations, and to bring their knowledge to what is current and what I'm offering. When I think of my website and I look at my website, I want to be able to be thinking, feeling, and experiencing, I found a great partner and a great web person who I continue to confidently ask for help, and they just do it. And it's really, truly a manageable business expense. I love paying the expense when I ask to hire them. It's totally manageable. Is there anything more in that?
No, it feels really good, really clear. And even hearing it back, I can feel the shift of just like frozen. I don't even want to look at it. It's it's done a couple of things. It's like created a list of what I want to ask for when I talk to someone. Like that felt really clear. Like instead of just having like the swarminess, someone explaining what they can do, and like, no, I'm coming into a conversation with what I need. And it also even opened up like little things that, like, ideas of things that I could do like myself already. Like it made me think of some of the stock photos that I have out there that I could easily have Mackenzie format photos and replace the stock photos with personal photos, which would represent more of who I am and what I'm doing. So yeah, it feels really just so much lighter and clear. Like I really feel clear on what I want. And it doesn't feel so, there's prior, it was a big blob of overwhelm.
Yeah.
And that has like lifted, like, okay, here I've gotten clear. Now I can, I can take steps towards this.
Right. So for me, it feels like a focus in here, where if my head goes like here, I can drop back in and wait, but this is what I want. Wait, but this is what I want. Because sometimes the momentum of those old thoughts start, nope, wait a minute. This is what I want. And so you do have a really clear mindset about where you're going with your website. So are you ready for the last step?
Mm-hmm.
I heard you thought about the photos, but I want you to take a nice deep breath and visit that picture again. And then ask your heart. I have a busy day, a busy 24 hours. I always do. Sometimes my busy is joyfully playing. Sometimes it's business related and sometimes it's other. But within the next 24 hours, ask your heart, what's one step you can take in the direction of this?
So honestly, my heart goes to it jumps. It's taking a hurdle to finding that person, and then there is like that, but who, how?
Okay, so I heard you say it's a hurdle to finding that person. And that doesn't sound like a very flow step. So
Right.
instead of thinking, I want to take a step to finding that person and it's a hurdle, we're going back to the table a little bit. You want to be thinking, I'm going to take a step to finding that person. And instead of thinking it's a hurdle, what do you want to be thinking, feeling, and experiencing?
I want to be thinking that I will know that I could even peruse the offers that come in and just see if I get a sense and feel around a person's name. Maybe I even kind of put it out there. And ask, ask for some recommendations.
Okay, so let's define one.
Okay.
So you say you want to take a step in the direction of this to finding that person. I noticed you first thought you said I started thinking about I could have Mackenzie. But then when I asked you to ask your heart, it was I want to take a step and find that person to do it. Like the one that's current on website development and everything. Doesn't mean you won't do the Mackenzie thing later, but I heard you say it was a thought. That's why I asked you to take a deep breath and ask your heart. And then I heard that step, but then I heard a hurdle, and who wants that, right? So we went to the table one more time and created the step. And now I heard that your inspired step is to take a step and connect with someone that you know feels right. And I heard you say it might be where you look at something that comes in and go and try it on and it feels right. Or it might be that you ask someone, but you're not even really sure what it is, but you do know you're committed to taking a step to hiring that person and connecting when that step feels right.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true.
But it doesn't sound like it's clear whether you're going to reach out and ask or whatever, but that would be okay. I mean, a step could just be what you said. I'm going to take a step when the step feels right, but it's going to be a step in finding that person.
Yeah, and I think I have more like I think I do want a recommendation. Like I think that would feel better. So, the step then is asking some of my fellow entrepreneurs, or maybe even putting it out on a little Instagram post or something.
So I'm going to ask you to define one step. It might not give you the answer, but one step you can take in the next 24 hours. What are you going to do? Ask your heart. You got a lot of ideas. Now come in here and ask your heart, what's the one step I can take to get a recommendation?
I'm kind of bouncing between two.
Well, let's put them both down and maybe you can do two steps in 24 hours. That could be true. Are they both doable within the time frame you have?
So one is excuse me. One is looking in my inbox and literally like like asking my pendulum, as crazy as that might sound to other people. That's one step.
Okay.
And then the other step is to, my other step is to ask you, who would you use?
All right. So the coaching session is complete, I believe, correct?
Yep.
All right. Now I'm stepping back into out of the coaching session here. Oh my God, this whole time I'm like, I know the best web designer for you. He's so awesome. He's exactly that. But I stayed in coach role.
You did.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm saying this for this coach training video is I promised I was staying out of my personality and just being here as a coach, because as a coach, I don't give you a suggestion. Okay. My web designer's awesome. You're going to love him. I mean, he's exactly that. He's current. He's connected with, it's amazing. So, you can just call him and talk to him, see what you think.
Good. That's,
yeah. Is this a wrap?
I think it's a wrap.
All right. So that's that. Thank you for anyone who's watching. There's a coaching session from a coach to a coach, from a coach trainer to a coach trainer. Everybody needs this stuff. Here's a clear and focused table. I hope you dissect the heck out of what worked and why it worked so you can do more of it. Thanks.